Hello, welcome to the Real Internet Come Forth YouTube channel. My name is Antoinette Smith and I'm your author. Remember to get your books, people. Some of them are on sale at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Google, Apple iTunes, Walmart.com, Target.com, Books A Million, Kobo, Indigo, and Tails. All of them come in paperback and digital versions. Get your copies today. Merry Christmas to you. I hope y'all will be safe. I hope you have a joyous holiday. Thank you for taking the time to watch these videos. Share these videos with your friends, your family, and your loved ones. Remember that we have the Authors Collection Box. This is the Real Internet Come Forth Authors Collection Box. It will be a great Christmas gift for anybody that you know is an avid reader and love to read. It is a 9-volume book series, 4 separate books. It entails about my life. It comes with a drink cup of your choice. All of them come with bookmarks, loyalty cards. Scroll down this page and you'll see the video where I have Authors Collection Box. And you'll see what comes in the box set, okay? This is the behind the scene Authors Collection Box. It is a 5-part book series. It's the sequel to the Real Internet Come Forth book series. So this will keep your readers reading for a good month or two, okay? So remember to, if you want one, let me know. And I will get it shipped out to you. Or you can go online and purchase them via book, paperback, or digital version. Remember my new book release, My Jesus Experience, Our Journey. It comes with its own bookmark. It is also available online at all the platforms that I just named and many more. Do not forget about my latest book release, which is Life After Losing a Child. It also comes with its own bookmark. You can get it in paperback and digital version as well. I have 2 new books that's coming out this year in 2022. So I announced that when we get to 2022, okay? My next 2 books that's coming out. I'm trying to get to a place where I just release 2 books a year to give myself a break so I can be free to relax and live my life and do other things. But thank you for your continued support. We are reading from the final chapter of the Behind the Scene book series, volume number 3, Life After Losing a Child. No, that's not it. My Life as a Caregiver, how I became the best in my field. Sorry, y'all. And it comes with this own bookmark. Okay. So I hope you have been keeping up with me. I hope you have got your books. I hope you have read ahead of me, read with me, and send your questions, your comments, and concerns. Y'all, I will address them live, okay? All right. We're going to be reading from chapter 7. It is titled Character Development and Attributes Process. And this is a life process. In this chapter, I will walk you through my life journey as I learn to develop my character. I learned from the best of the greatest of people on this planet Earth to me. I always have said and shown gratitude toward all those that have been a blessing to me. I begin to realize that I am very special to my Father Jehovah because he has allowed me to sit at the feet of great wisdom. The people he placed in my life and surround me, I learn from them all. The good, the bad, the ugly. Now, I've already told you about the bad and the ugly after the pain book, number 2 of this book series. And I will share more in book 4, the heart of the matter, God cleansing my insides and me facing truth about myself. This book, My Life as a Caregiver, is the strength of my joy. This is my happy book, my joyous book. Even though I really had to go through a mental and emotional cleanse and release process before I was able to write this book. You ask why? Well, the majority of my life I honor throughout this book are deceased now, and it still felt like yesterday, and they had left me. I didn't know if you know this or not, but I would assume you don't. Golden nugget for you. When you are a caregiver of any kind, whether you're by trade, choice, force, you are investing yourself into that person or people. Each time you perform an act or duty of caring for someone, you develop a bond, a relationship, an emotional attachment, a mental attachment to that person or people. It don't matter how you become that one caring for them or whether you're like it or dislike your role as a caregiver. One or more of these attachments will take place. Each time you come into contact with that person, you are making and receiving a deposit at that time. You giving of your time, energy, and emotion to them, and they're receiving or rejecting it. They're giving you their, you're giving, 1 minute. They're giving you their attention, advice, complaint, or praise during your time together. So it is a give and take change between you and people or a group of people. Once you have invested yourself into a human being and that human being invested themselves into you, a bond is formed. Love is formed. Once you and that person exit from each other's life, whether by job, change, or death, you now have a void in your life, in your heart, in your mind, in your emotion. You go through withdrawals from that being, from not being with that person or people. It's just like you ending a marriage or a love affair. When you break up or end a romantic relationship with someone, you miss them. Whether the relationship was good or bad, you missing something about them. Usually the part of them that brought you joy or laughter, the happy place. But when they leave or you leave their life, you are take a part of them with you, or they will take a part of you with them. Your emotional and mental response is the same whether you quit a job, got fired, or they died on you. You will grieve. There are 5 stages of grief, and there is no time frame for either one of them. Sometimes it takes weeks, months, years, or decades. Wait a minute. Decades for you to recover from the grief and the loss of a relationship. You don't know the difference in hurt from a breakup, hurt from rejection, or hurt from a death. All it knows is pain, loss, and a void that it grieves because it is missing something. Wait a minute. Sometimes it takes weeks, months, years, decades for you to recover from the grief of the loss of relationship. You don't know the difference in hurt from a breakup, heart of rejection, hurt from a death. All it knows is pain, loss, and void. So it grieves because it is missing something. The very thing that brings joy. This is why people grieve themselves to death every day, because they don't understand the stages of grief at the same time. All these loss of human lives through different circumstances. So allow me to share the stages of grief with you, that you might understand why I had to process before writing this book. Let me see. Give me some water. Train blowing. I live out a train track. Grief, 5 stages are Deborah. Denial, refusal to admit the truth and reality of something, unwilling to accept a past or present reality. When you don't accept the truth and reality that a person is being gone out your life, you become frustrated and angry because your heart knows it is missing something. But your mind keeps telling your heart it isn't. I will have to teach on the subject another time. Your mind, your will, your emotion are all different parts of you. Anger, a strong feeling of annoyance, vexation, displeasure, or hostility. This is when your mind, your heart, your emotions are all conflict. They were all telling your body something different. They are not in agreement. So when something isn't in agreement, we know it is a conflict, division. This is called confusion, unstableness of a person, bargaining, to negotiate the terms or conditions of a transaction. The agreement between parties that settles that each gives or receives in a transaction, between themselves, and compare contracts. This part of grief is usually done with God. You're asking Him to do this for you, or you do something for Him in an attempt to make you happy again, to help you to find some form of peace and joy you once had. You try to bargain with God so you can survive another day without hurt or grief in your heart. Reasoning, an act of thinking about something in a logical, sensible way. At this time, you have gained a sense of peace and acceptance of the person being gone or the relationship was ended. So now you begin to plan future joys and what to do next with yourself to maintain a sense of peace. Acceptance, an act of consenting to receive or undertake something offered, embrace, approval, adoption. This is the final stage of grieving process, acceptance. You have finally worked through the first four, anywhere from 1 or 100 times in order or out of order, to gain a sense of acceptance and peace. Getting to the final stage of acceptance probably took anywhere from 30 days to 30 years. This process is dependent upon the individual. But like I said in the beginning, there is no time frame for this process. Some people never complete the process. Therefore, they never heal from the hurt or pain of heartbreak. My father died in February 2002. I didn't totally accept his death until 2007. It wasn't until God sent me to work in Lake Charles, Louisiana as a caregiver for the Sweeney family that I began to embrace the concept that my father was gone forever, because he left me in 1998 and went to prison. So when he died in prison, I completely lost it, my mind, everything. I became very destructive and ruthless. After 1 year, God really took hold of me. But I would tell myself that my father was still in prison and that he would be home soon. Well, that wasn't true at all. I was still in denial since 1998 because I never embraced the fact that he left me. I grieved him every day for my life. I grieved him every day of my life for years. This is how I know it takes days to decades to accept someone gone out of your life. And there was the death of my two grandmothers that still grieved me for years. The devastation of my husband abandoning us, the death of siblings and uncles. The amount of grief in my life had been very high most of my life. And to add fuel to the flame, since those family members' death, I have lost my oldest son and my mate 1 year apart 5 years ago. And I am still trying to work through that. Then the death of my grandfather, client, my godfather, client, companion, and grandson is still fresh. 1 year old. 1 year old. So when you open a door of grief and sorrow, all of this flows out. You don't decide whose death you deal with first. God decides that once you let him in a part of your heart, but I have dealt with all the deaths of my past. I now truly embrace and understand how special and blessed I was to be chosen, to be worthy to be in their lives. It is an honor to be chosen with the responsibility of being a caregiver. It's priceless, and you begin to see the effects you have on people because of the pearls of wisdom you were given by all the people that came and went into your life. Oh yes, people teach you a lot about yourself when they exit your life. You just have to settle down, quiet down, sit back, meditate, and think about what they brought into your life and what they took out of your life. People only do two things. They will either add to you or subtract from you. This is your responsibility to find out who are adders to you and who are distractors from you. Number one, passion. What is passion? Passion, strong and barely controllable emotion, a state of capacity of being acted on by external agents or forces. The emotions are distinguished by reason, intense driving, and overmastering feelings or conviction. An outbreak of anger, and strong like or desire for devotion for some activity, object, or concept. An object of desire, a deep interest. A suffering of Christ between the night of the Lord's Supper and his death. That is the Webster's Dictionary. So we see that passion is a very strong emotion, force, or desire. I became very passionate as a child to care for people, to take care of them, to stop their hurts and pains, to stop them from feeling sad, lonely, depressed, or unwanted, to stop them from being abused or rejected. But I wanted to meet their needs wherever they were. They were needed. If they needed someone to talk to, I wanted to be an ear to them, a shoulder to cry on, to tell them it would be okay. If they needed someone to feed them, I would. If they needed someone to watch their children, I would. If they needed help with their bills, food, and clothing, I would. If they needed a ride, I would take them. If they needed their hair combed, I would do it. Whatever the need was, I always felt I was supposed to be able to fulfill it. That's why we became that's why we came into contact with each other. Even as a child, I heard everyone say, "You don't just meet people to be meeting them. There is a reason and a purpose." You are supposed to find out why. You are supposed to learn something from that person to come in contact with. You are supposed to learn something every day. So when I heard this, I took it to heart and I never forgot it. My passion to solve people's problems are still very intense. So intense at times I can't rest until God gives me an answer and a solution to the problems I have been given by people. God created me to be a thinker, be curious, an analyst. So I have always tried to find a reason behind everything. But as I got older and wiser and began to be trained by my mentors, I learned that I am a strategist, a person with the responsibility for a for a fundamental and for a fundamental of strategy. Strategies generally involve setting goals, determining actions to achieve the goals, mobilizing resources to execute the actions. My passions have taken me places I never dreamed before, people I never imagined, and gave me a very prosperous and fruitful life. Number two, purpose. What is purpose? Purpose, a reason, purpose, the reason for which something is done or created or which something exists. An intention, intent, purpose, design, aim, end, object, objective, goal, mean, with one's intends to accomplish or obtain. Intention implies little more than or what has in mind to do or bring about. Purpose can guide life's decisions, influence behavior, shape goals, offer a sense of direction, and create meaning. For some people, purpose is connected to vocation, meaningful, successful work. For others, their purpose lies in their responsibility to their families and friends. That is from the Webster's Dictionary. I have come to realize that I was created not just for one purpose, but for many purposes. As I was growing up, I always had several interests and needed several different areas to express myself. I am still that way today. I carried and birthed 5 children, 3 girls and 2 boys. All of them were different. Like the different things have different personalities. My children were given to me by God to develop my multifunctional purpose in life that He created me for. You ask me how many children, you ask, how was my children a part of my purpose? God knew that I would be helping people with different personalities, background, ages, races, problems, situations, circumstances, and issues. He knew I needed to be trained in dealing with all of this at one time. So my passion was connected to my purpose. I am one woman with many different functions and purposes. I will name a few. I am a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a companion, a caregiver, a counselor, a confidant, a mentor, a teacher, an evangelist, a wife, an aunt, a grandmother, a godmother, a CEO, a president, a lover, a fighter, a warrior, a speaker, and an author. Seem all these many roles have tied to my purpose in one vessel. We are many things to many people. We are like our Father Jehovah. Now can you see why He and Jesus have so many names? Because each time we encounter them and have an experience with them, it is for different reasons, and they have become that in which we need them for that time, as we do with people. For example, when I am at my office, Gentle Touch in Home Care, where I am CEO, I can't conduct a meeting like a mother with my children. When I am at a book signing, I can't be the president of Empowerment Ministry. When I am with my grandchildren, I can't be a companion. When I am with my mentee, I can't be a wife. All these different purposes I serve requires me to perform many roles at different times in different settings that causes me to be multi, wait a minute, multi-talented to fulfill my purpose with passion. And I'm going to end the chapter right there. Remember to get your books, get your books, get your books, people. We are finishing up reading this book, which is Behind the Scenes, value number 3, titled Life After Losing. No, oh my goodness. Behind the Scenes, value number 3, my life as a caregiver, how I became the best in my field. Now, next week, we're going to be reading from the Behind the Scene book series, value number 4, The Heart of the Matter. God cleansing my inside and me facing truth about myself. You really want to be in tune for this book right here. So remember, until we meet again, God gets the glory and I tell the story. Goodbye.